We've talked to a lot of returners so far with Kennard. We'll get Sheridan this week. We've got Jarrett Hensley. Well, now one of the returners on staff. Coach Mamon joins us. Jevon, so good to see you. It's been so great to see you back in Banterra this summer. Just for you, a lot of change as well, getting to know a new staff, getting to know a majority of the new team. What's it like from a coach's perspective, getting to know so many different new guys?
It's been busy. It's been busy. I'm happy to be back, happy to be around the guys, but it's been a relatively busy spring. But we have a great group of guys. I'm excited to be working with them. They bring it every day. Today was today was good, and so many times doing this for a number of years, so many times you're starting off a new week. Mondays can always be kind of slow, even during the season a little bit. And these guys were wired up and ready to go today. But I'm happy to be back, happy to see familiar faces, and happy to be meeting new faces and getting to know them and work with them and preparing for the upcoming year.
Talk to the process, and we'll get to a Sheridan this week, but with Jarrett and Kennard and every guy that's on the team had to go through a process of why is Southern a good fit for me. Obviously, you've had a connection here to the program previously under Coach Mullins, but as you were looking at options for yourself, what was most important for you of you wanted to look at quality of the head coach that you would work with, but also the quality of staff that coach would assemble, and, of course, the guys that they would want to bring in and be a part of the program?
Yeah, I obviously love B. Mully, and thankful and appreciative of him for the opportunity he gave me here. And this whole that time trying to make a decision and seeing what opportunities would be there for me was kind of a daunting time. Yeah. It's my first time in 19 years not knowing what my next job was going to be as a coach. So a lot of unknowns, but going through the process and having to sit down with a few different folks, it was an opportunity to work with someone who's obviously been a head coach, and knowing what he wants, what he likes, and where he's been, how successful he's been, rang a bell. And then obviously I know how to recruit the SIU. I've been ingrained in this community now for 5 years, and as we talk about a lot in the recruiting process, there's wonderful people here from the community, from the staff, from the administration, and obviously our student athletes. So, for as difficult of a time as it was, I'm happy, again, to be back here and, again, see a lot of familiar faces and work with, continue to get this job done.
There's ways I can describe Coach Nagy and what I've seen from him so far this summer, and what I've really enjoyed is just really his way to communicate to the guys and communicate to you as a staff, and really direct to the point. You don't really waste a lot of time. You guys are in there and you get your work done when you're in there. What were your first impressions of him where you were like, I can see me working for this guy?
Like you said, he's very direct. He is very direct, and the way that he operates, you're here to do a job, and you're going to do your job, and if you're not going to do your job, then like that opportunity is going to be for somebody else to do the job and get it done. He knows what he wants. He delivers on that. He obviously holds the guys to a high standard as any head coach would. But his approach to it, is right to it. Like, we're not wasting, time with anything. It's very direct, get to it, right to the point, and it's good. You get the delivery right away, and things have been pretty intense, to say the least, and he's hammering home, what the expectations are and what he's looking at when we're watching film or when we're watching live and drills. He's telling the guys exactly what he's looking at and what the expectations are from whatever situation they may be. And there should be no questions amongst the guys of what the expectation is.
The importance of the side that you said, Jevon, I think is so critical to it, which is what you and Justin Inslee, who I'm alluding to, are important, is how the culture is here. You've been here. You've been ingrained in the community to help really a staff that some of them may have experience to SIU, but not necessarily experience to the area, how crucial it is to be that big part of a staff of you've been in the Valley, you know the grinds, you know what's upcoming, and that's where it's going to help you guys as a whole as you get here closer to the season.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the staff. I mean, very experienced staff, obviously. Coach Nagy has coached against teams in the Valley. Coach Hawk has coached against teams in the Valley. Will was in the Valley, at UIC and Illinois State. So, we have a staff that's very familiar with it. Justin is Justin. I can't take credit for most of what that transition has been for a lot of coaches and what the expectations are, because Justin does a lot of that.
Yeah.
But when you're just talking basketball, the league is a great league, and it's a reason why Coach Nagy was attracted to this job, and why so many other staff members were attracted to this job. Just knowing what the Valley is, and knowing that the success and tradition here of SIU, it's easy. Obviously, when you're moving forward, you have a common goal and what we're trying to accomplish and do. But these guys are all seasoned guys. They understand what it takes. They understand what the Valley is. We're just going to attack it recruiting and execution-wise as best as we possibly can, and to put together a championship team.
You, of course, are a part of the run that Loyola had, being there with them on staff, and then coming over here to Southern. You've seen some really good basketball in the league over your time as an assistant, Jevon. When you think of UC, the attention the league gets, especially when guys opt in to go to the portal, all the schools that come calling. I mean, you can look at the all-conference teams from last year and how many of those guys are moving up. Just the caliber of basketball that's played in the league, why that is such a attracting thing for players, and why it's important when you look at the construction of your team this year of how they can add to what's been a league that has proven year after year after year that not only are the guys good just while they're here, they're good wherever you can place them.
Yeah, I had a conversation earlier this spring with the assistant coach in the Big Ten, and he was saying that our league and one other league was one of the two leagues that they watched the most in regards to players and potential transfers, because they know how well of a coached league this is, how good of a league it is player-wise, and just the brand of basketball, and they think it's proven that they'll be successful for the most part going, if they decide to transfer. And but again, the league historically, good, and it's a combination of skill, a combination of size, a combination of athleticism, and a combination of really good coaching. And you need all of that to click, and need all of that to be there in the most minute, attention to details to be successful in this league, because one costly mistake can cost you, could cost you in this league, any night. And you take when you take a look at last year, obviously we lost to UIC in the conference. UIC played just about everyone tough. Valpo played just about everyone tough in the league. So, those who may not have fared as well, maybe not have been in the middle of the pack, or, high up in the league, Evansville competed at a very high level, right?
Yes.
Like, these teams, it's not a night off. And, again, you have to be very detailed, in what you're doing. You have to obviously be prepared with the amount of great coaches that we have in this league. And obviously you have to have really good players. Like Coach Nagy always tells, people that's around, he hasn't scored a bucket, but a lot of success that he's had is because of the players that he's coached. And, that's very true here in the Valley.
We'll transition to this year and the optimism, but to kind of piggyback off of what you said, when you do look back towards last year, it wasn't like, as you said, the teams that were maybe towards the middle, which is where we were, wasn't like the gap was that far to get to the upper top of the league. You even saw Indiana State get pushed by UIC in Chicago. I mean, you can pick and point wherever you're at in the conference standings. Arguably, that team gave whoever it was a run for their money. We were obviously one of those teams last year too, but it's getting over that hump. It's doing it consistently,
Yep.
Even though it is a different makeup. But Kennard, Sheridan, and obviously Jarrett coming back. Damian Mayo's got experience at Missouri State. Tyler Bay there with them. There are some pieces to it. But what are the biggest things you drill into your team now, Jevon, that ends up paying dividends once you get into the dog days of January and February, where you got to do that consistently over time?
Yeah, again, the very minute of details, right? Jump wall and not fouling. Being able to move your feet, cut off drives. Again, just the little things, winning plays that you necessarily don't have to teach, or you shouldn't have to teach. We have guys that have been a part of some very successful high school and collegiate programs, and they understand what it takes to win. And if that's getting on the floor for a loose ball, which has been emphasized with us a ton, you better go get that thing. Or again, just jump wall or not giving the other team an advantage. If that's, get into a block out, the things that you can control what you can control out there on the floor. And, that stuff will carry you over with you. At the end of the day, you're going to make shots, you're going to miss shots, but who's going to go get to that 50-50 ball? Who's going to be physical on that block out? Who's going to have, the fortitude late in that second half, to beat a man to a spot and cut him off and make him have to change direction and move the basketball, and who's going to get to that closeout well and contest that shot. Those are all things that contribute to winning at a high level, in the game. And you can drop the best plays, but if you're not going to be aggressive, go get that offensive rebound because it's late in the clock, and you're able to get that putback if somebody else catches somebody else sleeping off of that, right? Those are things that get it done. And so just the littles of things without sets or anything like that right now. It's just, man, what's in your heart, what's inside of you and your mind, be able to fight through fatigue and fight to be able to again, just make a play to contribute to winning at a high level.
Player development is so key, and especially at our level when you get into it in college basketball, Jevon, and you've been a crucial part of that here at SIU. And when you look at guys like Kennard, and I know Sheridan didn't play a ton last year but still on the roster, where do you see those guys making a big jump this year? And especially Kennard, I mean, watching him in workouts today, I mean, you don't see a workout from that guy where it's almost like he doesn't even have a T-shirt anymore by the end of it because it's just filled with sweat.
Yeah. Kennard, Sheridan, Jared, those guys have all spent a ton of time, this spring, just put in extra work. And, they get in here in the mornings, stand in after workouts to get in extra work and ball handling and shooting. Obviously, it plays a huge part, and expect for each of them to take a huge jump in their games, and being able to contribute at a higher level. Moo's been doing a great job of, shooting the ball a little bit better, a little bit more, comfortable putting the ball down on the deck. Sheridan's been working extremely hard off of reads and things of that nature right now, with the ball in his hands and out of his hands. Just, his body is a lot better. And, Jared has just been a workaholic, and coming in here and working on his body as well and his skill set across the board. So expect for, all of them to be able to contribute in a huge way. Once things get going. But, again, that starts right now, and they're all competing at a high level right now in workouts.
It's really, at this time of year, I get asked by fans whoever, hey, how's so-and-so look, how's so-and-so look? And it's really hard to pinpoint specific guys this time of year because it is about building the team, and it's about getting everybody ready for when you get to the fall. But as we do look around, look at specific guys, one guy that's really stood out since he's gotten here is Ali Deba. Can you describe the quickness that Ali has and how that can really make him a special talent here for you guys in the program?
I mean, on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he has elite quickness on both sides of the ball. I mean, he's cat quick defensively with his reaction time and being able to cover a lot of ground and being able to help make up for maybe others' mistakes. Incredible hands, incredible length that contributes to that. And then you watch him; he puts the ball on the deck like he can get that step on you right away, and with those long strides, go from the three and be in the middle of the lane. So that's going to be his qualities in that. You can't teach that. That's pure God-given ability and talent, and but that again, it's going to go a long way on both sides of the ball with us for us.
There's a lot of length. There's a lot of athleticism on the team. Again, a guy that's been integrated with you this summer, Antoine Massey, is another where it seems like not just his athletic ability, but you can really see the basketball IQ side, I think, for Antoine over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Twan has been very intriguing, to watch. And again, you just talk about reaction time and his ability to affect shots, and his skill set, because one thing that he's done since I've been here is shown his ability to step out a little bit and be able to knock down shots. So his versatility there, be able to face up, it's going to be able to help us give it a little bit of a different look offensively. And then again, just his slam. I mean, he has a 7-foot wingspan, right? So again, very long, very athletic, and should be able to be a big lob threat for us as well around the basket. But just his versatility is going to be a huge bonus for us.
It was clear, Jevon, where you watch games from afar, which you do obviously as a coach. I mean, we watch so many of the teams in our league play, and once you get towards league play, everybody knows everybody like the back of your hand. Damian Mayo was always one of those guys where maybe you look at the numbers on a stat sheet and you go, okay, it may not be overwhelming, but you watch him play and you see him play in person, you can tell there's a lot more that he brings to the table. We've seen that this summer. What is it from what you saw from afar where you're like, man, I'm really glad we have Damian here? Now, where can maybe he showcase some of his skill that maybe he hasn't yet in his college career?
His competitiveness. I mean, he's a dog. I mean, it's the reason why he's here. And I mean, he impacts the game, again, winning ways and by making winning plays. Like he's just about the right things on the floor. Really team first type of guy. But he's a dog out there, defensively and kind of just everywhere, just the toughness that he brings, and he got the party started today with that. I don't know where the heck he came from. He went to go get that thing
Yes.
and pin it up off the glass. But like those are the type of things that you're like, okay, well, we can see that a little bit more consistently. We can get him to to be a little bit more of a bear on the glass and be able to push that thing up in transition and be able to get to the line a lot more. But his tenacity, his communication, his leadership is going to go a long way for us.
Yeah, Coach Nagy reminded Jaheim very quickly that guards in the college level, a little bit different than guards at the high school level, which obviously Jaheim, one of the younger guys that's got a great future here. And we'll kind of end on this note, Coach Mamon, I appreciate the time, is, look, whenever you get into a portal, you don't really maybe know exactly what your roster is going to look like at the end of it. But it's been one of the common themes we've talked about through all of our interviews of the balance of the roster. Granted, you never really know what it's going to be like year to year, but at least in terms of balancing your roster out, of having a good mixture of younger guys kind of in the middle who have that experience but need more, and you got your veterans, could you guys have really drawn up maybe a better breakdown of your roster than what you ultimately came to at the end of it?
Yeah, no, we're very happy with how everything, came out and worked out with how things were put together. And it was intentional. Coach Nagy was very intentional about that. Now our job as coaches is to be able to put this thing together, right? I mean, like you said, you have some seasoned guys who have been some big scorers, guys who have been some glue guys who have been a part of some, NCAA tournament teams, but maybe, hadn't played or in high school kids, right? So now we have to do our job as coaches, is getting them all on the same page for what our expectations are and what how we're going to do things here and make it work for us and for our system here. So we're very elated about it, and hopefully we don't have to go and we don't want to have to go get 5 guys, right? I mean, in today's you never know in today's landscape, but I think we're in a very good place with how things worked out with the roster and the balance of it, as you mentioned, and continue to have that moving forward.
This isn't a sympathy question to get it on their way out or how I really want it to come across, but all of you know as coaches, this is the business that you sign up for. And really what I'm alluding to is obviously the recruiting weekends, the travel, to spend a lot of time this time of year away from your families, on the road, whatever the case may be. You understand that, you get it. But what I think is really important, Coach Mamon, is that you guys as a staff, you find a way to stay charged. You always tell your guys, hey, we need you charged. We need you ready to go. But you guys need to be ready to go as well. What is it about I get it, it's early, but it's really seemed like Coach Nagy's done a good job with you guys of a staff of, you guys are charged and ready to go. Where do you feel his strengths are in helping you guys as an assistants, getting yourselves in position to where you guys know it's a grind. Everybody knows it's a grind, but you have a way to stay fresh each and every day.
Just like anyone else. Like, we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves, right? This is what we signed up for. This is what we do. This is, we know what the dog days of the summer are, and just of the profession. We're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. Our job is to be here for the guys and to pour it for the guys. So when it's time to go, it's time to go. It's time to get moving from transition from drill to drill. We better be transitioning from drill to drill, at a better pace than what the guys are, right? But that's the enjoyable part of coaching when you been away on the road, and you get back and you're excited to get back, and you're watching future prospects, but you're ready to get back here with the guys and get back to work with them. And today a couple of guys were walking into the facility before practice, and I met them at the door a little bit, and big smile on my face. And I guess one of them asked me, why is he smiling? I said, man, he's happy to see us. He's happy to be back, right?
Yeah.
And it's go time. It's trying to get to work. And, again, it's a very selfless profession. That's why we are here. Again, this is what we signed up for. And, we have to be juiced up. Coaches home is juiced up and ready to go. But he's he's all about firepower. Whichever way you want to impact that with firepower. But you better have that firepower. You better have that energy with you. And for how we work, right? For how we work. And the time that we have allowed with the guys right now, there's no second that can be wasted. So every second is valuable, every minute is valuable, and we just need to make the most out of it. So, be ready to go. Like you say, be charged up. But but coach is that way, and his vision for how he wants everything laid out, how he wants it done. But again, I learned this. You learn by going through the fire, right?
Absolutely.
So our first week, we have different teams, and everyone's a little bit different, right? And we get over to try to transition into some competitive things against 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, and the guys weren't in their jerseys yet. Come on, coaches, we got. All right, man. Now I know, right? Now we all know. Make sure those guys have those jerseys on before we start stretching, and
Yes.
But again, that goes into the no seconds wasted, no minutes wasted. When it's time to move on to that next thing, it's time to move on to that next thing, and it's time to do it with a little bit of sense of urgency.
Well, Jevon, you know how much I think of you and appreciate our friendship that, of course, we've been able to build over the last year, and can't wait to get back get in with you guys throughout this summer. And sooner or later, we're going to be just right down the hall, and it's going to be rocking again, and we know how special of an environment that is.
Yes.
Jevon, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, Luke. Appreciate you having me on.